War does not care if you're a man or a woman. Neither does the enemy. Nor does the weight of your rucksack, the size of an artillery round, or the body weight of a casualty on the battlefield who must be carried. This, and I want to be very clear about this is not about preventing women from serving. We very much value the impact of female troops. Our female officers and NCOs are the absolute best in the world. But when it comes to any job that requires physical power to perform in combat, those physical standards must be high and gender neutral. If women can make it, excellent. If not, it is what it is. If that means no women qualify for some combat jobs, so be it. That is not the intent, but it could be the result, so be it. It will also mean that weak men won't qualify because we're not playing games. This is combat. This is life or death. As we all know, this is you versus...
This is like having a couch guy run the military. Okay, this is the opinion of a guy who never served from the outside. Not saying that he hasn't, he was in the National Guard, but like this is literally the areas where you see this kind of attitude most commonly represented are the fucking dudes who wear like the grunt force outfits, who are themselves fat as shit and never actually served or failed out of basic, right? And the guys who were like, oh man, I was gonna serve, but life had other priorities for me. But like, this is exactly what the military should represent. Yeah, like this is such a crazy thing to watch. It's such a fucking crazy thing to watch unfold. Yeah, baby, let's go. The military, we're bringing strength back to our soldiers, to our brave warriors, man.
An enemy hell-bent on killing you. To be an effective, lethal fighting force, you must trust that the warrior alongside you in battle is capable, truly.
What is this? And not a moment too soon. Women should not have ever been in combat roles if they can't meet the standards that men need to meet. Equality is downstream from life and death. This policy should be applied to police and firefighters as well. Bro, this is it. This is what I mean. It's like, this is for Asmongold and people exactly like Asmongold. That's who he's doing this for. This shit's gonna piss off. I think this is gonna piss off a lot of top brass. Okay, my grandmother was a nurse in World War II. It's where she met my grandfather, who was a pilot. Women can provide value and service to the military, but that doesn't mean we should endanger lives pursuing the false god of equality by giving them lower standards for combat roles. Oh my God. Oh God, and Clean says thank you. Ugh. Asmon couldn't even meet the standards of women. Yeah, I mean, he would be the first to say, oh yeah, that's why I'm not serving. That's why I'm serving my country by being a Twitch streamer.
Physically capable of doing what is necessary under fire. You know, this is the only standard you would want for your kids and for your grandkids. So for the past 8 months, we've gotten a good look under the hood of our officer corps. We've done our best to thoroughly assess the human terrain.
Ooh.
We've had to make trade-offs and some difficult decisions. It's more of an art than a science. We have been and will continue to be judicious, but also expeditious. The new compass heading is clear. Out with the Shirellis, the Mackenzies, and the Millies, and in with the Stockdales, the Schwarzkopfs, and the Pattons. More leadership changes will be made, of that I'm certain. Not because we want to, but because we must. Once again, this is life and death. The sooner we have the right people, the sooner we can advance the right policies. Personnel is policy. But I look out at this group.
Why did they film this? Why do you think? Because this is not for the generals. This is for the general public. This is for the Asmongolds. This is for the couch potatoes who will never serve, but have developed this like false notion in their minds that the motherfucking U.S. military has been brain broken by woke. These are the people who looked at Mark Milley, okay, saying, of course he's Red Mao. He must understand the enemy, and went, oh my God, he's a woke Marks Milley. We have to fire him. That's who this is for. These guys are so fucking stupid. They literally think that the American military was like running around being like, yeah, we just got to be woke now. We have to be woke. This one generals, all of us during that rambling Trump speech. No, because he's a woke general. That's why he's like, no. Logs, I have a question. I literally disagree with everything this man has ever said, him and Trump, and I am with you on so many things, but what's the problem with having gender neutral physical tests? Genuine question. I don't even have an issue with the gender neutral tests or whatever. Ironically enough, I think the reason why they've lowered the standards for testing is literally because for certain positions you have gender neutral tests, for the record, number one. Number two, the reason why they've even lowered restrictions or lower standards is because they were facing a fucking recruitment crisis. That was it. That was the reason why they were lowering standards.
And I see great Americans, leaders who have given decades to our great republic at great sacrifice to yourselves and to your families. But if the words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink, then you should do the honorable thing and resign. We would thank you for your service.
Oh my God.
But I suspect, I know, the overwhelming majority of you feel the opposite. These words make your hearts. You love the War Department because you love what you do, the profession of arms. You are hereby liberated to be an apolitical, hard-charging, no-nonsense, constitutional leader that you joined the military to be. Truth be told, for the most part, we don't need new standard. We just need to reestablish a culture where enforcing standards is possible. And that's why today at my direction, I'm issuing new policies that will
Minimum score already didn't matter in many infantry units. If you didn't have at least 270 PT score in my unit, you were shitbag. I think the reason why these guys are doing this is twofold. Number one, it's to say, my way or the highway, you need to be loyal to the administration first and foremost, right? And the other reason is because they want to communicate to the rest of the country, like the military is hard again, you know, like it used to be or whatever. Ironically enough, the American military, when it was the most successful, was obviously when they had a mandatory draft and they did not have the same fucking standards at all, World War II. And ever since then, regardless of whether standards have increased or decreased, the American military has not really fought a war to win a war. They've fought a war to continue it so that the military-industrial complex makes more money. So do with that information what you will. But like I said, a lot of the back and forth here is purely for the optics, for the aesthetics, to make it seem as though these guys are, you know, working at the behest of a important cause, to make the military strong again, that sort of thing. But I think it's a failure on both fronts because this kind of discontent will piss off some of the lifelong career generals, a lot of them, as a matter of fact, getting talked down by like a National Guard dipshit, a drunk himself. This will, ironically, I think, lower military readiness. But what do I know?
Overhaul the IG, EO, and MEO processes. I call it the no more walking on eggshells policy. We are liberating commanders and NCOs. We are overhauling an inspector general process, the IG, that has been weaponized, putting complainers, ideologues, and poor performers in the driver's seat. We're doing the same with the equal opportunity and military equal opportunity policies, the EO and MEO at our department. No more frivolous complaints, no more anonymous complaints, no more repeat complainants, no more smearing reputations, no more endless waiting, no more legal limbo, no more sidetracking careers, no more walking on eggshells. Of course, being a racist has been illegal in our formation since 1948. The same goes for sexual harassment.
Has it? Has the military abided by those standards? I don't know, man. Also, where is he going to go from here? Let's see.
Both are wrong and illegal. Those kinds of infractions will be ruthlessly enforced. But telling someone to shave or get a haircut or to get in shape or to fix their uniform or to show up on time or to work hard, that's exactly the kind of discrimination we want. We are not civilians. You are not civilians. You are set apart for a distinct purpose. So we, as a department, need to stop acting and thinking like civilians and get back to basics and put the power back in the hands of commanders and NCOs. But today, at my direction, every member of the Joint Force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year. Every year of service. Also today, at my direction, every warrior across our Joint Force is required to do PT every duty day. Should be common sense. I mean, most units do that already, but we're codifying it. And we're not talking like hot yoga and stretching. Real hard PT, either as a unit or as an individual. At every level, from the Joint Chiefs to everyone in this room to the youngest private, leaders set the standard. And so many of you do this already. Active, Guard, and Reserve. This also means grooming standards. No more beards, long hair, superficial individual expression. We're going to cut our hair, shave our beards, and adhere to standards. Because it's like the broken windows theory of policing. It's like when you let the small stuff go, the big stuff eventually goes. So you have to address the small stuff.
Recruitment numbers have obviously fallen, regardless of the poverty draft that the American government has. Regardless of the fact that the military is seen as like one of the only ways where you can get the same kind of welfare and social assistance that you would get as a citizen in competent European governments. The military has experienced a severe crisis in recruitment. I guess like with the imminent recession, recruitment numbers have ticked up. Not exactly great. It's not exactly great for the future of America, I mean. But the reason why they had lowered standards, for example, and even offered like shave waivers and things like that, things that are irrelevant to standards and discipline. All of this stuff is just aesthetics. It's just aesthetic posturing from a guy who doesn't even understand the issues that the military currently has. I just don't think that this is going to lead to the positive results they thought they were going to get out of this this experience. I just don't think that lifelong career generals, who many of them are fucking well-read too, are going to look at a DUI shithead Fox News host and go, yeah, this is the guy who is commanding me. This is my Secretary of War. Fucking awesome.
If you want a beard, you can join Special Forces. If not, then shave. We don't have a military full of Nordic pagans, but unfortunately, we have had leaders who either refuse to call BS and enforce standards, or leaders who felt like they were not allowed to enforce standards are unacceptable. And that's why today, at my direction, the era of unprofessional appearance is over.
By the way, the beardos thing, a lot of people don't understand this, but this is a major point of contention for active duty service members that are black. A lot of people don't even recognize it unless you are either tapped in and you have friends who are veterans, who are black veterans, or just like, this is an anti-black policy. The reason why the military in the past has allowed some members to not shave and have like hair standards that are a little bit looser is because...
Why aren't you clean shaven, Sergeant?
Oh, yeah,
so I'm not clean shaven because I do have a condition called pseudometiculitis. It's when your hair grows out and back into your skin, which causes your hair follicles to be more into your skin, causing your face to turn red and causing there to be bumps. There's usually rash, and this is more common in, African Americans because our hair is more kind of tightly woven hair that is thick and it's not as straight as other people's hair. It's a natural thing that happens.
Like, it's just the reason why they have the shave waivers is for that reason. The beard policy thing is not about readiness. The reason why they're taking away the waivers is just simply to say, like, you.
No more beardos. The era of rampant and ridiculous shaving profiles is done. Simply put, if you do not meet the male-level physical standards for combat positions, cannot pass a PT test, or don't want to shave and look professional, it's time for a new position or a new profession. I sincerely appreciate the proactive efforts the secretaries have already taken in some of those areas, service secretaries. And these directives...
Yeah, of course, spec ops still get to have beards, obviously, because they're cool and mostly white and also badass. They get to grow a badass beard because they're special operations, baby, special forces. Hoorah! Woo! That's right! Delta Force! Sorry, I get excited when I think about muscly men. Oh, yeah, baby!
...are intended to simply accelerate those efforts. On the topic of standards, allow me a few words to talk about toxic leaders. Upholding and demanding high standards is not toxic.
Can we acknowledge Pete never made it past platoon leader in the National Guard, brother, and now he's the commander of the military? Bro, I swear to God, I think this is the most dangerous thing that this administration has done so far. Okay, fomenting discontent within the highest ranks of the military. As a dude who was in the fucking National Guard, yelling at a bunch of generals who spent their entire fucking lives in the military, who have so much respect for not only their own position, but so much reverence for the American military. Like, you know my take. I treat people as people, but like these guys, the dudes in that room, they spent their entire lives and their livelihoods abiding by certain standards with a certain expectation of what the American military is supposed to represent. So when you get a fucking Fox News dipshit who was in the National Guard coming out demanding all the generals come back to Quantico and just talk about how no more beardos and all this other shit when they have no respect for you, I think it's probably one of the more dangerous things that this administration is doing.